What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. The market had a pretty good day today. Some stocks straight up exploded. So in this video, we're going to be explaining the top stocks for tomorrow and some other important news to be aware of. With that being said, let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below, and we'll probably cover them in tomorrow's video. But with that being said, Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, definitely. The market was pretty good today. Like you said, a lot of stocks ended up, the SPY ended up 1.15%, and the QQQ ended up 0.8% today. And then we actually had the Dow kind of lead the way today. If we look at the DIA, they were up like 1.9%. I just really wanted to point out that the Dow really outperformed a lot of tech stocks today, Mike. Like the QQQ is up, 0.8%, doing pretty well. But I'll be honest, the Dow was moving a lot better today. It had more upwards movement. The QQQ did come up at the end a little bit, but man, the Dow did very well. We have a lot of these safer value stocks like Triple M doing pretty good today, along with a lot of tech stocks like Facebook even turned around. Apple's doing well. Just some of those bigger named, like the bigger named stocks in the market. And it's just really nice to see some of these doing well. Even Caterpillar had a really nice move. And overall, the market had a pretty good recovery today after having a pretty scary week last week.
You know it. I would say my favorite part of the day was that growth stocks actually did very, very well. Like DraftKings is up 8%. Let's go. So it's good to finally see some green after months of just red after red after red. So finally we saw some green today, which is relieving to see.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love to see DraftKings up. We even had like XPEV doing well. Snapchat and some of those beaten down social media stocks were doing pretty good. I know Snapchat did well. Twitter did pretty well today as well. It's awesome to see the growth stocks up like that. Also, I know that like some of those stocks, Mike, like Plug and ChargePoint are going to be very interesting. I know ChargePoint actually has earnings tomorrow. That's going to be very interesting. They actually just hit off that $20 support. So maybe if they have good earnings, we might see a pretty nice pop out of ChargePoint, and maybe even it might even trickle over and be a sympathy play for other stocks like Plug and maybe even BLNK.
True that. And then even China stocks had an amazing day. We have Alibaba up 10%. And I would say there's some relatively bad news going on between the US and China, while these China stocks are exploding, which is, pretty rare.
Yeah, it really is. And with that being said, CNBC actually reports that the U.S. announced that they're actually going to have a diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Winter Olympics. Now, keep in mind that while they're having this boycott over human rights abuses, the U.S. athletes are still going to participate in the game. So we are boycotting it, but it's actually just the Biden's administration is just not going to send any official representation to the games. But in the end, the athletes are still going to be there and everything. So you can definitely still watch it on TV. I'm sure the hockey and everything. I love watching that. So hopefully, Team USA can do better against Canada this year. But man, I can't wait. It's going to be very interesting. But Mike, the thing that was awesome was that the China stocks actually went up. I thought that maybe with the boycott, this would make these stocks go down, but it looks like they're up 10%. That's an awesome turnaround day with this bad news.
Yeah, I mean, China stocks are at an amazing level. If you look at BABA or like maybe Baidu or maybe just like a China ETF like FXI or QUEB, they are at amazing levels. But at the same time, they're a very high risk, high reward type play because there's a bunch of horrible news with potential delistings and all that. So, it's definitely a high risk, high reward play, but it's definitely not bad.
Yeah, it's not. And I also just wanted to mention one thing from yesterday really fast. We have DWAC today. I know that we mentioned that in yesterday's video that they got about $1 billion in funding and that they might have a pretty good week off of that news. And, you can see that they opened up this morning and did very well. But then actually, it actually came out now that the SPAC is under investigation by federal regulators, including the SEC and FINRA. Apparently, 2 probes were disclosed today. It's definitely going to be pretty scary going forward. Anytime there's any probes or, just anything like that with the SEC, it's never good news. So I just wanted to point this out because we did talk about it in last night's video. And then this bad news came out and sent it right back to the downside. So definitely be careful. The SEC is looking into it. So we'll have to see what type of news comes out of it over the next few days.
Exactly. And for everyone who is not familiar with DWAC, this is Trump's like social media company. Over the past like year or so, they've been very volatile. They have been moving up quite a bit, but there's been a ton of news with them, so we figured we'd cover it. So definitely keep that in mind. But Tom, do we have any other like major news for today?
There's not too much major news, but we do still have some earnings. And then we also have some stuff on the economic calendar. On Thursday, we're going to have some initial jobless claims come out. But on Friday, we're going to have the CPI numbers around 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. So definitely be aware of that. That's going to make a big impact, I think, later in the week. But then we also have these earnings plays, which are pretty interesting. We have ChargePoint tomorrow after close, which is going to be awesome. And then later in the week, we still have Chewy, GameStop, Costco, and a few others.
Yeah, Chewy's definitely on my radar, and then of course GameStop on Wednesday. So we're definitely set for an interesting week, but let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first momentum play, we have Baba to the upside.
Yeah, we do. Go ahead and make Baba break out above 125 tomorrow. I think that's going to be a pretty good resistance.
They basically went up. They basically went straight up all day long. Like you look at that intraday chart, and it was a ton of green candles and not even too many pullbacks.
Yeah, not really any at all. I'd love to see it break out there right above 122.50 at the end of the day as well. And I loved how they closed high. I think it has a lot of momentum for tomorrow as well.
Awesome. All right, with the next momentum play, we have PENN also to the upside.
Yeah, doing very well. Also with the China stocks, go ahead and make them break out above 51.60.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Redfin also to the upside.
Yeah, with Redfin, go ahead and make them break $41. That's going to be a nice even level to look for.
All right, so we are watching these three plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow. Only if they break above the levels Tom listed. Basically, if they break above the levels Tom listed, we like them for quick in and out day trades to the upside. But before we get into the comments from the previous video, I want to give a quick shout out to our Discord member of the day, which is Odin. He's a very active member of the chat, and he definitely deserves a shout out. So thank you so much for all of your activity in the Discord, Odin. Tom and I really appreciate it. Let's get right into these comments from the previous video. With the first comment, we have Harrison saying, OLMA, is it a potential squeeze play? So basically looking at this stock, it's been doing pretty bad over the past couple of weeks, you can say, and I was looking at it for a potential squeeze, but the problem is that at least on FinViz, the short float is only 9%, so you're not going to see a short squeeze with a short float that low. So for that reason, it's definitely not my favorite setup in the world. But then again, it has a very low float in general, so maybe. But either way, it's just like a risky play. If you are in it, I hope it does pop for you. And then, Tom, we had so many comments on the previous video talking about Tesla. So let's definitely take a look at that one.
Yeah, Tesla actually had a pretty decent turnaround today. I will say, though, early on, it was looking pretty scary for them. They fell below $1,000 this morning and kind of confirmed off of it and then had a pretty bad move down to 950. But, with the turnaround, it looks like a pretty good play back up. If we see the tech sector and we see the QQQ continue up tomorrow, I think that could be great for Tesla. But, it's going to be pretty crazy because they've been on a pretty bad downtrend, Mike. But, I will say they just started to fall below 1,000, which I think was a big support. But with the way they came right back up through it, I think that showed a lot of strength there at the end of the day. So it's just going to make, I think, for me, I'm definitely going to be watching $1,000 tomorrow. That's going to be a big level to look at. And over the next few days, it's going to be a pretty interesting next few days, I should say, for Tesla, because whenever we have all these other market catalysts going on, I feel like Tesla is going to move more of kind of just like the QQQ will.
Yep. All right. And then we have mentioning UMC. So UMC has had an amazing recovery like over like the past year. They've really exploded. And when you look at that max weekly chart, they really had a really amazing recovery. They went from like $1.42 in like 2015 all the way up to $12, where they're at now. So that's awesome. They're in a pretty good industry. They have to do with semiconductors, and we all know how basically anything with semiconductors is useful, and that industry is exploding. So that's awesome to see, and they're getting pretty close to that like $12.70 resistance.
Yeah, they are. I would definitely watch that. It might be a double top, so just be a little careful with it. But they have been on a pretty nice explosion. It almost looks like AMD or Nvidia, to be honest.
Yep. All right. And then we have Conor McGregor saying, or just referencing Netflix. So let's take a look at Netflix. Today they did okay. They were up like 1.7%, which is actually pretty good, but they had a horrible week last week. You know, Netflix is a solid company and they are definitely bouncing off the 600 support.
Yeah, they are. There's actually a pretty big support right there. That's going to be a pretty interesting level to look at. And, they're kind of like Tesla. They're sitting right around that support. So I think that we're just going to have to watch them for the next couple of days. I think if we see a little bit of a break to the upside tomorrow morning, it might be time for a nice continuation. So I would say if they could break out above like 617.30, which was their high of day today, they could be pretty good.
There we go. So Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything for tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely, Mike. Like we talked about, there's a lot of opportunities right now with some of these growth stocks. I think, we had DraftKings have a very nice recovery today. It looks like they might even be breaking out here in after hours. So that's always nice to see. I think it's awesome to see Twitter turning around. We even have like Facebook. The airlines had a very nice day today, like DAL, CCL was up 8%. These airlines have been getting destroyed lately, and it looks like they're back on the uptrend. So hopefully we see them start to go up over the next few days. I think that it's going to be a pretty good recovery if they do so. And, I feel like it's just warranted. It's been a pretty bad past few months for these companies. And, I really hope to see them go back on the turnaround.
Sounds good. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you trade options, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below for daily option swing trades, day trades, and access to an awesome community. We do have a coupon running and you can cancel at any time. Besides that, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.